Hi, everybody. This is Paul Hitchcock with Wealth Protector TV, and really excited to have my guest, Russell Barnett, on the show today. Russell, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, thanks.
Great. Russell is one of our top tax professionals. And Russell, we're going to jump into this very hot topic because as you and I were talking offline, you were saying this comes up a lot, and it's putting kids on payroll who are under 18 years old. And so as you're dealing with a lot of closely held business owners, what is that issue all about?
So a lot of people that own family businesses, they want to be able to involve their children in the running of the business, either to just have help in the business or to prepare them to eventually work in the business or even take over the business if that's the succession plan for the business.
Right.
And the idea is to also to compensate them for the work that they're doing, legitimate value they're adding to the business, but also to use some of that money in order to offset some of the other expenses of supporting those family members. Oftentimes it's children, sometimes it's a parent or a sibling or another relative whom you're providing financial support to and who is working in the business in return. So usually when you're making a gift of support to a family member, it's not something that's tax deductible. But if they're working in your business and you're paying them a salary for doing that work, then of course it is deductible. And so that can be a way to generate some tax savings or even some tax-free income to help offset the cost of supporting that family member.
So can you bring a child who's not 18 into the business? Is that legal?
For most cases, your own children can be more or less exempt from child labor laws as long as you're not exploiting them, right? So the IRS, does come in and make sure that they're actually doing work for your business and that you're paying them a fair salary. This isn't a tax dodge where you can just pay someone $50 an hour to take out your garbage, right, because they're your kid. So it has to be a reasonable compensation for the work that they're doing for you, and they have to actually be showing up and doing the work that you're paying them for. But for a child, this can also be a way for them to help out, contribute to the household. It can also generate earned income for a child that allows you to make a retirement contributions on their behalf. So, a child has a standard deduction that's the lesser of what they've earned, or $12,000, meaning they can earn up to $12,000 and not pay any federal tax on that amount of money. So if you're taking money that's tax-free and putting it in, let's just say, a Roth IRA, then that can be a tremendous savings tool for them for their future financial needs, whether it be as a sort of college savings plan, because of course you can always withdraw what you put in after tax without any consequences, or even just setting them up to be very comfortable in their retirement, given that, of course, time value of money applies. So,
that's awesome. Yeah, no, that's an awesome strategy. And what I've heard a lot that owners do, if you ever run across this, is where they bring in their younger kids to run, for instance, their social media accounts, because they're doing marketing, and kids know that, they love doing it, and they can.
Most of the younger generation's much more suited to that type of work than we are, right? As the parents. So the couple things to keep in mind, I mentioned before, it has to be work that they're actually doing for you. You have to treat them like any other employee, make sure that they have a time record of the time they're spending on, making sure that the pay is equivalent to what you might pay someone else to do. And then the other thing is that you want to make sure that the tasks you're asking them to do are age appropriate. Historically, the IRS looks a little squinty-eyed at someone who's hiring their 8-year-old to run a machine, right, type of thing.
Right.
So and in general, they look at a job that's usually about the youngest age you want to look at this is probably around 7 for an office type setting. They generally are a little bit skeptical if you ask your 6-year-old or younger to do something and say, no, we're going to pay him $15 an hour or $20 an hour to do this, right? So,
right.
Yeah, so it is a valuable strategy that can be used to, in legitimate cases, to help offset the cost of their activities. It could be private school tuition, it could be extracurricular activities, it could be summer camps, it could be a lot of things. It could be helping them earn money for their car and their insurance and their gas that they once they reach driving age. It could be that kind of stuff. And for other family members as well, if you're having to give them financial support, as many of us do, we have relatives that aren't able to make ends meet or that need assistance. And a lot of times when business owners, have a family-run business, they're in a position to help. And so if you're able to create work for them that they can help, then it's a way for them to contribute back in exchange for the support you're giving them, and a way for you to get a tax deduction that you might not otherwise get for the money that you're paying to them. So,
right. Russell, always great information. Thanks so much for jumping on the show. We'll see you next time.
likewise.